Good afternoon, everyone. We are certainly pleased and honored to have Governor Corbett here with us, and Congressman Bob Brady, Council President Darrell, Clarke, Fire Commissioner Lloyd, Ayers, President of American Red Cross, Judge Ren'ee Cardwell, Hughes, the Chief of Staff and Deputy Mayor for Public Safety, Everett Gillison, and of course our Director of the Office of Emergency Management, Samantha, Phillips. The Governor is going to give kind of an update on Pennsylvania issues for the local media. I'll give you a bit of an update on the most up-to-date stats and observations we have for Philadelphia. You'll, of course, hear from Congressman Brady, Council President Clarke, and Judge Hughes, and then we'll be glad to take any questions that you might have. Governor?
Thank you, Mayor. And I want to introduce Glenn Cannon, the Director of Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency. This is our second stop today. First stop was out in Montgomery County. Actually, two stops out in Montgomery County, one stop here now. Sitting down, talking with the executives from PICO about their response and getting everybody back up online. Secondly, then going out and seeing a line crew that was in from Mississippi. Had just arrived last night after a 2.5-day drive to come up here. And they're online. They're putting the lines back together. We're getting everything back online. I would say right now we have a total of about 500 people statewide in shelters, if I remember my numbers correctly. I don't have my notes here, so if we're wrong, we'll let you know we're wrong. Everything's back up and running in most of the places where they do have electricity. We have a total of about 800,000 people still without electricity across the Commonwealth, and it's bringing those numbers down, and we'll be bringing them down as quickly as possible. In looking at the priority of getting electricity back online, number one is public safety. So that's the area that gets first attention from all the different companies. Number two are critical situations, hospitals that we're running on generators. And I think we're down to 2 that have generators that are running in the hospital, and hopefully those lines will be back up very quickly. And then number 3 is the infrastructure of the electrical system throughout Pennsylvania. The big lines that get into huge areas that work more like an artery in your blood system, that pump all the juice out to other areas, and then going into the neighborhood. So we have a number of days before we're going to have this completed. There are people that have come in from around the country to assist the electrical companies here in Pennsylvania through mutual aid assistance packs that are established. As I said, we were with people from Mississippi. We have people from Chicago and Indiana and Kentucky and Texas, I believe, that are coming in to help get the electricity back up online. We've had 6 deaths, right, Glenn? We're up to 6?
Yeah, we have an unconfirmed 7th now.
Oh, yeah, okay, an unconfirmed 7th at this point. Considering the size, the scope, and magnitude of this storm, we were lucky. Now, if you're one of the individuals who doesn't have electricity, you probably don't think you're lucky, and hopefully we'll get that electricity back to you as soon as possible. But in comparison to what we see to the residents across the river in New Jersey and up in New York, I think all of us agree we're lucky. We have made resources available to go over to New York and New Jersey as needed. As I indicated yesterday, I think we have 35 ambulances that have gone over to assist in transport of people who need to be transported from hospitals and so forth in New Jersey, along with 1 mass casualty bus. Don't think they're moving the casualties. They're more likely than not moving people from hospitals that are incapacitated or need to be moved to another location. Task Force 1, and the chief is here. He can talk about Task Force 1 also, which is based here in Pennsylvania and primarily here in Philadelphia. We had kept as a state agency or state task force. As soon as we were able to release it, FEMA and the federal government transferred it over to federal duty. They were sent to New Jersey to work in New Jersey, got diverted to New York, And right now, I understand they're out on Long Island, out in Nassau on Long Island. And how long they will be there, I don't know. Some of you in the past have asked me, have I been in contact with Governor Christie? Only through text. He's been very busy. And I guess he might be with the president sometime today. But I've told him if he needs anything from us here in Pennsylvania, let us know. The rest of the state, we've had minor flooding. The snow in western Pennsylvania is snow that the mountains, the people in Westmoreland County and Fayette County and Somerset County, it's for the ski lodges, they like it. They can get to open a little bit earlier. So it really wasn't an incident up there. The storm is now out of Pennsylvania, so we can all breathe a sigh of relief. Major river flooding, we don't anticipate any major river flooding now. As we were talking in the conference room over there, September and August were rather drier months, so the ground wasn't as saturated as when we went through Hurricane Irene and Tropical Storm Lee last year at the end of August, beginning of September. So the runoff wasn't there and the volume wasn't quite the same, so we don't anticipate, even coming down from New York where the storm, I guess, is through New York by now, that we will have major flooding of the Susquehanna or of the Delaware River at this point. Mayor, I'll turn it back to you.
Let me ask Congressman Brady to come up, and also want to recognize Rob Powson, who is the chair of the Pennsylvania Utility Commission, and a couple other members who are here with us. When all the other speakers have concluded, I'll give, again, our local press a little bit of an update on what's going on here in Philadelphia. Congressman?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Governor. Also, we have our fire commissioner here. Thank you for hosting us in this. Yeah, you missed it, but that's okay. He didn't get mad.
I love him.
We all do. The only thing I want to say is I am really feel good about the cooperation. You know, these hurricanes and disasters don't pick any R's or D's or whatever, but everybody came together. You know, if I could bottle and take my governor and take my mayor down to Washington, we have a better country. We need to get more cooperation, and it was shown in this catastrophe. So, and it's a shame that we have to have a catastrophe to demonstrate that. But I'm just proud to know both of them. I mean, the mayor did an excellent job. You all know we did dodge the bullet, but he was prepared if we didn't. The governor did an excellent job. I got a call early on to make a call down to Washington, which I did. And to their credit, they said, we're ready for it. Send the application down. And we did, and they responded. And the governor has been responsive all through this tragedy. And again, we were just fortunate. I told both of them I want to find out what they eat for breakfast and lunch and dinner, because I want to start eating it, because they're pretty lucky. But they were ready, and that's more important, you know. And they were ready for all the citizens of the state of Pennsylvania and the city of Philadelphia. And I appreciate that. I'm only happy to serve in any way possible. I'm sure there'll be more things that are happening that I can maybe hopefully be more helpful with in the future when we start, you know, getting a better assessment of just what is needed and what's not needed. And again, our hearts and prayers are out to our neighbors in New Jersey and in New York. And I talked to all my members from there, and it's pretty devastating, you know. So they're looking for some help too, and I know that that's going to happen. So again, I'm just proud of my governor, and I'm proud of my mayor for the job that they did. No matter what would have happened, we would have been ready. And Council President Clarke, I'm glad to see him here. I see him all the time at every news conference, and he was there, you know, ready to give the support. And my dear friend Judge Hughes, you know, what could you say about my dear friend Judge Hughes? Ready. I was really mad when she left the bench, but I'm glad she's where she's at right now, because when you need a steady hand, she has that steady hand, making sure that our citizens are provided for. So, thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. This has obviously been an unprecedented storm. You all have seen the pictures in very vivid detail. This is unprecedented in terms of the sheer magnitude of the storm, and then some of the damages associated with the storm. But like Congressman Brady, what I also would like to say that the level of cooperation and the interaction between the municipal, the state, and the federal government has also been unprecedented. And I want to commend all of the people, starting with my mayor and the governor, Congressman. You all usually end up getting some portions of the tab at a little later date, and I'm sure you'll be right there for us. So I want to commend everyone on the elected level, and I also want to make sure that we continue to thank the first responders, both local, state, and federal. They've done a wonderful job, and I really want to commend them. And again, I want to say our hearts and prayers go out to those individuals who are not as fortunate as us with respect to the level of damage. I'm sure that we will be there in any way, shape, or form that is requested. I understand, Commissioner, we've already detached a team up to, we're going to Jersey, New York, and so we're here, and I want to commend everybody and all of their involvement. And again, Mayor, thank you for your aggressive and proactive approach to dealing with the city of Philadelphia. Thank you.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the American Red Cross, I simply want to say thank you to the citizens of Philadelphia for being what we call Red Cross ready. Our entire region, Southeastern Pennsylvania, was prepared because we partner not only with our mayor and Director Cannon at Pima and our governor, Samantha Phillips. These partnerships have enabled us to serve not only the city of Philadelphia, but the entire region. Many people will say to you, oh, you spend so much time talking about being ready. But we stand here today having been prepared for whatever Mother Nature threw at us and survived it because we were ready. So we will now shift into damage assessment mode. We will work with the Office of Emergency Management to do damage assessment and to put our families back in their homes, back on their feet, and to be ready for the next time. So I want to thank the citizens, and I particularly want to thank all of our volunteers. Please, the American Red Cross is a volunteer organization. Check our website, www.redcrossphilly.org. That's an opportunity to contribute to your community in a way that makes a huge difference. Thank you so much.
Chairman Council.
Thank you, Mayor Nutter. Let me first start. I look out in this room today, and the people in this room representing the city of Philadelphia and what you're doing, you are to be commended. As Governor Corbett mentioned, we have roughly 800,000 Pennsylvanians without electric right now, and I'm joined with my Vice Chairman, John Coleman, and Commissioner Gardner. This is an all-hands-on-deck approach. We are in constant communication with our utilities. The governor has made it very clear. He wants daily updates. We want to get these restorations back online. I don't want to set firm what we call ETRs, estimated times of restorations. What we want to assure everybody, and the governor set it up nicely, is that we have mutual assistance. All of our utilities heeded the message of readiness. Everybody in this room has heeded that message. And Congressman Brady, I think you've put it rather nicely. This is not an R&D issue. This is about preparedness. This is about putting back a quality of life for all Pennsylvanians right now. And for that, we're blessed to have someone like Congressman Brady and Governor Tom Corbett and Michael Nutter and people like Darrell, Clarke all here. We're joined together, we're working together, and we're going to get this issue past us. Believe me, as I said to the governor yesterday at our staff meeting, I'm going to either be the most popular guy in the room or the most unpopular guy in the room. And that is when people don't have electricity, they get very antsy. So we're trying to communicate. Our utilities, to their credit, have used social media for the first time, communicating with customers. We have been blessed under Director Cannon's leadership, having the National Guard working with our utilities. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it has been very difficult getting to some of these spots and doing damage assessment of our transmission and distribution system. So I am, it's an honor to be here, and Mayor Nutter, I commend you for your leadership during these very difficult times. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all the speakers and the leadership that you've provided. I'm going to give you a very, very quick update on what's going on in Philadelphia, and then ask our director, Samantha Phillips, to talk about what's happening here at the EOC and shelters and that kind of information. Yesterday, we reported that there were 585,000 folks in the region without power. That new number now is 375,000. In the city, the number yesterday was 65,000. Today, that number is 38,500. PECO is doing a spectacular job over the course of the last day or so. We have tremendous confidence in their capacity and capability. Received a full briefing from them yesterday at their headquarters just outside the city, and the thousands of people that they have available and have brought in, as the governor referenced, to get folks back online as quickly as possible. Yesterday we reported 73 traffic signals or intersections that were down. Today that number is 31, although within that 31, 5 of those 31 are actually operational with external generators. But we have technically 31 traffic signals not working, down from 73 yesterday. We've had about 60 plus trees that have been dealt with. There are no ulterior roads that are blocked now with trees, although we have about 80 streets, smaller streets in the city that are still suffering from tree blockage. We have 6 parks and recreation crews out, as well as we activated private contractors to help us with tree removal services. SEPTA, as you all know, yesterday announced that they would be operational. They are. Market Frankfurt line, the subway line, Broad Street line rather, and I believe virtually every bus route and trolleys up and operating in the city. The only part of the system not operational is regional rail, and that is primarily because of the sharing of track with Amtrak, although Amtrak is trying to get up and running. We've had flights at least in, I believe also out of Philadelphia, as the airport is not only open, but increasing their operations as well. We expect that there will be some diversion of traffic out of New York City because of the challenges in New York from their airports, and we may pick up some of that slack. Lastly, I talked to Mayor Bloomberg early this morning, and certainly as a fellow mayor, I can feel the weight and the pain in his voice of the things that are going on in New York City. He cares passionately, of course, about New Yorkers. We're all Americans. We are all in this together. And as I'll have Fire Commissioner Ayers talk about the task force and other members who have gone to these other locations. And obviously the president is with Governor Christie in New Jersey. These are times when we must all come together, utilize every asset and resource that we have available to us to help our fellow Americans. But lastly, as I mentioned to some of you, if you were on yesterday, here in the EOC, this really is the nerve center of operations for us as a city government. Let me thank all of you again for the great work and the great job that you do. Your work here at the EOC allows the rest of us to do some of the things that we do out in the streets, but also communicate a message to the public here in Philadelphia and even in the region that we have a plan of action, we're prepared to execute it, and can take the necessary action day after day for virtually no matter what happens here in the city of Philadelphia. So again, on behalf of the citizens, I want to say thank you to all of you here at the EOC. Let me ask Fire Commissioner Ayers to come up, and then Sam Phillips, and then we'd be pleased to answer any questions that you might have. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Currently, we have our Pennsylvania Task Force 1 deployed in New York. Our team came together a couple of days ago, activated as an in-state asset for the state of Pennsylvania. After the activation, we were in service for 1 day. After the demobilization by Director Cannon, we were actually made a federal asset 1.5 hours later, and we were deployed to New Jersey and then diverted to New York, where they're helping right now. They've partnered with Indiana Task Force 1, several other task forces. They split into actually 4 different search teams in that area around in Long Island, Lower Long Island. They have vehicles from the Army, 6 vehicles, high water vehicles, where they're going through and searching for anyone that's a victim. They're also setting up for air search in that area, so they are very, very active. On yesterday, day before yesterday, we actually dispatched 35 task force, strike teams into New Jersey to support New Jersey search and rescue and moving of patients from hospitals, etc. We had one of our team members that went over to support that activity until such time we had a new task force leader or strike team leader come in. So right now we're just active in New York, getting 6-hour updates, and we just pray for those folks that they're working with and for our team as they carry out their mission. That's about it.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to reiterate some of the things you've heard here today. It's been great partnering with a whole host of agencies at both the city, nonprofit, state, and federal level over the past week or so. We were fortunate that the weather didn't pan out to what we were bracing for, but we were well prepared, and I think that's why Philadelphia has done so well in responding to this storm. We thank our partners at the American Red Cross and the Salvation Army for helping us with shelter operations. At the height, we've had over 380 people in emergency shelters, which is a pretty significant portion of potentially impacted residents in Philadelphia. Pleased to announce that we've consolidated a lot of our shelter operations and we'll hopefully be closing our final one today, pending some damage assessment that's happening right now. And I'm also pleased to say that at 6 p.m. tonight, the Emergency Operations Center will be shutting down. We still have some coordination work to do, but we can, use our normal channels for doing that. So thank you again to all of my colleagues in city government and at the nonprofit level, and thank you, Director Cannon, for being in great communication with us throughout this.
Thanks, Sam. We'd be pleased to take any questions from the media.
Everybody come home safe? See you, Governor?
Yes.
You guys go press conference, I got no question.
I'll take that.
Don't usually give me a chance.
Done, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you all for being here. And again, thank you, Governor Corbett, you and your team. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.